wanted to show that the Seltos is not just a city slicker, but we could take it off the beaten track and onto the roads less travelled.
Find the small little dirt roads that no one travels on, no problem at all for the Seltos. Didn't need four-wheel drive at all. We went through some mud, we went through some water, rocks, gravel, up mountains, down mountains, not a problem. Even with some flooding late last year and earlier this year, some of the roads were very washed away. All the vehicles came through perfectly.
First of all, it is a small SUV and people don't normally take them off-road. I mean, the most action they see is the sidewalk at Pick n Pay. We took some really interesting routes across quite rocky terrain. We didn't deflate the tyres and we did a lot of obstacles actually.
It's not four-wheel drive, but it didn't really matter for it. It just kind of took every incline, decline, gravel road, sand, everything as a breeze.
The gravel roads and the routes that we've taken over the last 2 days have really showed the Seltos' other side, its wild side.
It's designed for this. I mean, a bit of off-road, a bit of on-road, chuck the family in, covers vast distances comfortably. You get the complete deal.
The Seltos is really a marvelous little crossover. I mean, there's enough road clearance that you can do things like 7 express pass. We also did a couple of other passes where I was really thinking, we actually need a bakkie here, but the Seltos really performed well.
Better than I expected. I've done plenty of trips like this in two-wheel drive cars, so I know it can be done. The car's been quite a surprise. It's been handling excellently on these trails, these tracks. This thing lulls you into a sense of comfort, like you won't understand, sense of safety actually. Really enjoying it on these roads.
Yet again, it proves you don't need a big 4x4 or a double cab or big SUV to be seeing some of the most beautiful parts of our country. The roads are dirt roads, but the Seltos handles it very well.
I thought it's a city pavement girl, but to completely obviously prove me otherwise, it's taken the road exceptionally well.
Driving this across the desert section of the Karoo was actually a surprise in that I felt a lot more confident than I thought I would.
The Seltos 1.5 diesel has fantastic fuel economy. It can do 700 kilometers in these conditions on one tank.
It's my first time driving a diesel Seltos, and averaging about 5.8 liters is quite interesting.
Turbo diesel efficient, the spec is good. I've probably driven it more in 2 days than I've driven a Seltos in 2 years, but it does the trick.
Driving on more inclines yesterday, slowing down for some rocks and stuff, going uphill a bit more. The high fives initially on the road, and now it's about low sixes, 6.2, 6.3. It's fantastic actually. That's mega range and it's only a 40-litre tank.
If you want to do a nice grand tour, long distance travel, go for the Kia Seltos. You're not going to be disappointed.
Well, I think the Tank Park Karoo is always a highlight. Driving through what used to be an old lake, it's now just a flat piece of earth. Amazing space, even though there's nothing there. The vehicles perform perfectly in the gravel. Some of the other places, Sutherland, the coldest place in South Africa with a million stars in the sky, the Salt Observatory. You see this thing on top of a mountain, you maybe think there's someone standing there looking through a telescope like this, and it's not like that at all. It's a highly complicated computer system, a system engineer, software engineer, and all kinds of engineers. And astronomers from all over the world use it as a reference in a research tool. Obviously we don't understand any of the computer displays, it's very complicated. It's way more impressive than you would ever think. When our engineer who took us for the tour took out his cell phone and went like this on the app, and the whole contraption started turning around like, oh, see, this is impressive, much more than one would think.
Salt is interesting because it's made out of 91 individual mirrors.
These things were cast and they had to cure for a year before they could actually start grinding them down to the perfect concave to be used on the installation. Each one of those little mirrors cost 2 million rand, but even more impressive is the fact that this whole installation cost $32 million.
The whole setup took 11 years to build, and you'll understand why when you visit.
And then also Woolslow's Kloof Pass, which is one of the lesser known passes in the country, because you have to drive quite a ways in and drive out again. It's not a drive through. That was really cool.
So many highlights, but if I had to single out one, I'd say Barrydale. Just generally, I think on Route 62, but another highlight, the South African Large Telescope. Very impressive, I haven't been there before, and it was awesome to see the technology and everything that goes in there.
That for me was something else. I think, the 7 weeks pass, for me, that was also a phenomenal, beautiful pass. And first time ever on the Trudeau Pass for me as well, and it's just beautiful.
I love this part of the world. I just think it's so unexplored. It's vast, it's beautiful, it's clean.
If you want to go somewhere unique, somewhere different, where you can just turn back the dial a bit, the Northern Cape, this area is absolutely fantastic for that. I love it here.
The marketplace is cluttered with vehicles like the Seltos. And I think what sets the Kia apart is its design. It's a good looking car and it's got the Kia reliability as well. As an old timer, I like the analog bits of it. There's a knob to do the volume, there's a knob to get your aircon softer or harder. The dials are actual dials. You're not switching between various digital things to see what you're doing. I like that. Once you get inside, there's a lot of space. It's a complete package. And the seating, for me, is surprisingly comfortable for a vehicle of that size.
A rather stylish vehicle as well. You don't think that vehicles that are so fit for pocket would be so handsome.
The vehicle does have really nice lines. It doesn't look like a small SUV. When you're standing outside, it looks big. Even inside, it's big. It is just the perfect balance of compact and size.
The Seltos plays safely in that middle ground that a lot of people shopping the segment want. Even so, I think it's handsome. I think it looks great inside as well. Feels great, it's well appointed. Got all the toys I need, which is basically Android Auto and aircon. Yeah, I think it's a looker.
A player in a hot segment, and I think styling definitely gives you that extra edge when buyers are looking at which vehicle. They've got so many options, and if yours stands out, all the better for it.
Styling is futuristic but also relatable. Interior, comfortable, technologically advanced in my opinion, packing space, etc. All good. I will definitely consider taking a Seltos.